What's up, guys? In this video, we're going to go over 4 deadlift progressions to make sure that we're keeping our back nice and healthy as we're doing this movement. I'm Dr. Joey C4, physical therapist, athletic trainer, strength and conditioning specialist with Comeback Performance and Wellness. Let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about what a deadlift is. A deadlift is a type of hip hinge that we're doing to pick an object off the ground. So it can be a kettlebell, it could be a laundry basket, it could be your child. The biggest thing is making sure that we're keeping everything nice and strong as we're doing this movement so our back doesn't get extremely irritated as we're doing the movement. Progression number 1 is a 3-point hip hinge. So you'll grab a dowel, broomstick, bat, whatever you kind of have at home. You're gonna have 3 points of contact on this. So it's gonna be here, here, and here. And on our body, it's gonna be on our butt, our low back, and the back of our head. So if I'm doing this, I'm touching all 3 points. My feet are gonna be shoulder width apart, soft knee bend, and then I'm gonna push my hips back and allow my chest to come forward. Just like this. Couple things that might happen that'll go wrong is we stop losing the motion from our hips and we do one of these. See how I'm losing that connection? That PVC pipe is not touching my butt or low back anymore. Or we'll see where we're keeping it, and then the rest of the motion we do this, okay? The biggest thing when you're doing this motion is you want to keep all points connected. If you're not, there's an energy leak and something's going wrong. Progression number 2 is going to be box deadlift. So you're going to grab a box and a kettlebell. What we're going to do is we're going to start at the highest height. You're going to turn the box to the side so your feet can step into it. I'm pushing my hips back, grabbing the weight, standing up. So butt back, slide the hands down, back up. Once you feel comfortable with that, and you can do 10 to 15 reps, feel good, back's not hurting, we'll lower the height. I'm gonna be right here, butt back, stepping up, slide, touch, back up. Just like that. Once you feel comfortable there, I'll lower it down. Now we're starting to get below knee level. So I'm gonna go butt back, butt back, butt back. Once I'm at the knees, I'm gonna bend them a little bit and then come back up. I'm always keeping that touch point on my thighs as I'm doing this. So butt back, bend the knees, stand up. Once you feel comfortable with that, push the box away. I'm gonna go right here, butt back, butt back, butt back, bend the knees and tap, just like that. You wanna tap this kettlebell right in between your feet right there. Butt back, bend the knees, on up. Progression number 3 is a Hexbar Deadlift. I love this deadlift variation for people that are afraid to get on the barbell, but also if they are a lot taller than the average person, okay? So what you're gonna do for this one is you're going to step in to the hex bar. We're going to push our hips back and then bend our knees to get into the setup position. As I am here, I'm feeling it out. I do not want back pain as I'm deadlifting in this position. Everything else stays the same. I'm going to stand up, and as I come down, I'm just reversing it. So butt back, bend the knees, back up. You want to make sure that you're not favoring one side and doing this. So if you hear a clap, clap like that, you know that you're off balance. You need to make sure that your feet are centered and that you're moving at a pace that you can work with. So again, right here, standing up, butt back, bend the knees, back up, butt back, bend the knees, back up. You want to start lower weight, but you also want to have something that raises it up a little bit higher. Once you feel comfortable with that, we'll go to the next progression. Progression number 4 is the barbell deadlift. This is the one that we all want to get back to and want to perfect. So we're taking all the same principles that we've done in the other videos. We want to have our feet shoulder width apart. We want to hinge at our hips, and then we want to bend our knees only once we get below the knees right here, okay? As far as hand position on this, you want to take your thumbs right from this spot right here, and that's where you're going to keep your hands. So as I'm getting set up in this position, feet are going to be shoulder width apart, pushing my hips back, bend the knees, and see how you feel in this position. You shouldn't, if you're having pain, you do not want to lift the barbell off the ground. So as I lift, coming up just like that. So as I'm lowering the barbell now, I'm pushing my hips back, then bending my knees, coming back up. A couple mistakes that we typically see are people not having that connection on their legs, and they're starting to round in their low back. So what that looks like, bar's a little bit farther out like this, and they're having to use their back to get the weight up there. Okay, so what we want to do to correct that is keep everything connected. So the barbell's going to be touching my legs the entire time. Butt back, bend the knees, tap, back up. If you're not keeping the bar close, your back has to work that much harder just to keep it as you're going through the lift. Another common mistake that we will see is people rounding in their spine. Okay, this is not inherently bad as we're doing this, but we want to make sure that we have the best connection possible. So to think about that is we want to make sure that we're pushing our hips back all the way. So as I come up, if I push my hips back to here, I have to round my spine to get the bar there. Okay, so finish that hip hinge as you're doing it. Last common error that we typically see is I call happy barbell. So we get the sound like that. So I'm going to demonstrate that real quick. So when someone's coming, they might do, right, like that. So to slow things down, we want to do the same thing, but we want to go at a nice, easy tempo to make sure that we're even on both sides. Make sure you guys hammer the basics with this before you start adding on weight. All right, guys, as we're putting it all together, we went through 4 progressions in this video to make sure that our deadlift is great and it's not injuring our back. So our first progression was that dowel hip hinge and the 3 points of contact. Our second progression was the box kettlebell deadlifts. Our third progression was the Hexbar, and then our fourth one was the barbell deadlift. Guys, when you're doing deadlifting, it is okay to have some back soreness the next day. Our muscles and our low back are working to keep our spine safe as we're doing it. If you're having more than just a low back pump and you're having pain, that is not normal. That is not okay. That is something where you'll need to talk with a rehab provider to help get you there, okay? Pain with deadlifting is not normal. Thank you guys so much for staying and watching the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. My goal is to help 1 million people around the world avoid unnecessary imaging, injections, or surgeries. At Comeback Performance, the comeback is always stronger than the setback.